Hi, and welcome to Essentially Yours. My name is Carla. I have been a nurse since 1998, and I absolutely love helping people better their lives and help them come to an independent state, and to help educate people on things they can do for themselves to make their bodies function at their optimal level and help bring them to a place of homeostasis within their body. I'm also a doTERRA wellness advocate, and today we are going to talk about the basics of oils, what they are, and where's a good place to get started. So this is a class for everybody, whether you're just learning about essential oils or whether you've been into oils for quite a while. I think there's always something that we can learn and share with each other. So today we're going to talk about the absolute basics and essentials to oils. One of the coolest things is when you purchase through doTERRA, you are going to get the absolute purest oils there are. And that's really, really important to know. When you have pure oils, the oils are going to work the way they're intended to work, and our body's going to know what they are and what to do with them, and to be able to help us get to where we need to be. When you start getting adulterated oils, that's when you can really start having different side effects and not getting the results that you want. So you need to go with a company that you trust, and doTERRA by far sets the standard on oil purity. That is all you're going to get from doTERRA, is the one and only pure oil. So what is an oil? It is the immune system from plants, roots, trees, flowers, leaves, anything alive and natural that you can pull an essential oil from. Not all living plants can you extract an essential oil from, but the ones that you can, they are incredibly powerful. What's really cool about doTERRA too is they work with farmers in the places where the plants are indigenous, because that's where you're going to get your purest and your best quality. You can grow most plants or trees or grasses anywhere, but you're going to get your best constituents when the plants are grown where they're indigenous. And so that's another really cool thing about doTERRA is 96% of our growers, and I'm sure that number will just keep growing. When I first started with doTERRA back in 2015 or 16, I think we were at 74%. But doTERRA builds these relationships with their farmers, and they treat them really well, and they pay them really well. They pay them what they're worth, and they pay them based on quality. And so now 96 to 98% of our farmers work exclusively for doTERRA, meaning they only grow their crops for doTERRA. They don't sell their crops to anybody else. They only go to doTERRA with their product. That says a lot. doTERRA doesn't own its farms. It goes to the farmers, and oftentimes they're in third world countries, and they literally are lifting these people in these communities up and giving them a high quality of life, doing what they love and what they know and what's been in their family for many, many years. So it's really important to know that you're using a quality oil, and when you're using a quality oil, you're not going to get the side effects, you're not going to get reactions from them. And our bodies are going to know what they need to do with them. Now, I will tell you, I'm sensitive to oil, so I typically will mix my oils with some, like fractionated coconut oil is the carrier oil of my choice. I have plenty of others, but my go-to is fractionated coconut oil. I personally have reactions to a few of them, and that's just my body. Most people don't have those same reactions, but you need to be aware that you can, and it's okay. The oils have so many different properties and constituents that you can just go to your next one. But I will say they're very rare. I'm the rarity. I'm special, I guess. And most of mine are not severe. They're skin sensitivities, and so I just choose not to utilize those oils. And I go to another oil that I can get just the greatest benefits from. So we're going to talk about the basics on how you utilize the oils, and then how you can get started in them. So one of the ways that you can utilize them is aromatically. So you'll see here in my diffuser, I have a water-based diffuser. So I add some water and I add anywhere between 2 and 9, 10 drops of oil, and I start it. And it changes the atmosphere almost immediately. And the reason that is because the scents alone trigger things through our olfactory system, which is part of our limbic system and our brain. And it hits our amygdala, which is kind of our watch guard of our brain and our body. And that's also the seat of all of our emotion. So a lot of times those emotions can be buried, and sometimes the scents can help bring those out. And scents can be very, very uplifting. And all of these parts of our brain are getting those signals just from the scent of the oil. And it starts making changes within us immediately before the other parts of our brain go, oh, that's wild orange, or oh, that's peppermint. So scent alone can have a very dramatic effect. An example of that is one afternoon, my husband was having a lot of GI distress. And it was so bad and he was so uncomfortable, he decided he was going to go lay down. And my husband doesn't lay down in the middle of the day just to take a nap. He is a day sleeper because he works nights, but if it's his day off, he doesn't lay down unless he's not feeling well. So I knew it had to be pretty bad. He wasn't too into the oils then. It's not that he was opposed to them, but it wasn't his go-to choice for treatment. So he went in and laid down, and I went in and started his diffuser that I have next to his bed with some copaiba, which is one of the oils we're going to talk about here in a minute, my absolute favorite. I started that in the diffuser, and he called me into the room about 10 minutes later. He noticed it was on, and he said, "What did you put in the diffuser?" And at first I was a little nervous. I'm like, oh, I just put some copaiba in there. I thought it would, help kind of ease the tension in your belly. And he's like, I don't have any more pain in my belly. And I was like, wow. I knew that they could have a pretty dramatic effect, even just aromatically. I didn't expect to have that quick of a physical response by using it aromatically. So it really did help neutralize things, and he got up shortly after that and carried on with his day. And he was excited, and I was more than excited. So having the oils into our body through our nasal cavity and hitting our olfactory system and taking those small, really volatile molecules to our body so it can do its magic was so relieving for me. I felt so empowered that I could help my family member just like that. He's not one that he likes to take any medications, even over-the-counter stuff, and so he's becoming more and more willing and liking to use the oils because it's a natural thing that he knows that it's pure and it's at his fingertips. He doesn't have to go to his doctor and get prescription, or he doesn't have to run to the store and get them. And it was super empowering for us as a family member. So just putting them on aromatically is great. If you don't have a diffuser, you can even just take a drop of it and just drop it in your hand. Or if you have a roller ball, you can take the roller ball and roll it in your hand, okay? And rub your hands together. And just cup your hands over your mouth and your nose and just take some really deep breaths in. You'll get different responses with different oils. This is Adaptive that I put on, which is the Emotionally Balancing Blend. And it's very calming and it's very soothing and it's very focusing. You put a peppermint in there and that's an energizer, a wake me up. You can just feel it kind of penetrate all through your sinuses and your respiratory system. You can just kind of feel them opening up. And so that in essence is relaxing, but it's also super energizing. So I encourage you, if we've given you a sample, take it out, put it in your hand right now, rub them together, and take about 3 deep breaths and just feel the power of that essential oil. Okay? You'll see the power. I mean, you saw, I maybe rolled it 3 times. And when I'm doing this and cupping with like one of my full bottles, I just do 1 drop. More is not necessarily better in the essential oil world. You're kind of just wasting it, actually. It takes very little because they're really, really powerful. So 1 drop of peppermint is equivalent to 29 peppermint tea bags if you're trying to use it for like a tea. So that just kind of gives you an example of how powerful they are. You don't want to put 6 drops of peppermint and then inhale and kind of rub the extra, on your neck to release some tension, or up on your forehead to relieve some head tension. You'll kind of be on fire, and you'll probably not be super happy with me, because you'll really get that effect. 1 to 2 drops is all you need at a time, okay? Depending on the size of my room, so this is a fairly small room that I'm in right now, so I only have about 4 drops of an essential oil in here. If I'm out in my big area that has my kitchen and my living room and my dining area, it's a much bigger area, and that's when I'll kind of up the number of drops in my diffuser. You just kind of have to play with it and do what is good for you. Also, when I'm diffusing, I typically like to put in more than 1 oil. If it's a blend, then I like to do the blends by themselves or even add a little bit something. But if it's a single oil, I prefer to have a combination of 2 to 3 oils in there at a time. And I'll do like 2 to 4 drops of each oil in the diffuser and then start it up. So in my diffuser right now, I have spearmint and clementine, because they're very uplifting and soothing to me. And when I put them in my diffuser, I almost always do it for the aromatic approach. And so I want it something that smells good to me. I rarely put it in there for the physical use, although I did with my husband that one time, and it was very, very effective. I think I put some peppermint in with his copaiba as well. Just copaiba is not my most favorite scent, but it is my most favorite oil of all times. So I added a little peppermint, and peppermint's also a good GI neutralizer, so the combination really worked for him from a physical aspect. But usually in the diffuser, I'm using it for that, the aroma that I would like to be in that room. It's very, very uplifting. Okay, another way to use it, we've already kind of talked about, is topically when we put it on our hands and inhaled. A lot of times I'll rub that extra on my chest or my feet or the back of my neck. The roller balls I absolutely love. doTERRA has a lot of combinations of roller balls, and I like those because they're quick and they're easy. Most of them are combined with some fractionated coconut oil, and what that does is it really kind of makes your oil more like an extended release per se, okay? Essential oils are really small volatile molecules, and so they can kind of flash off of our skin really quickly, and so we kind of lose some of the potency or effect from it. When you put them with a carrier oil, what that carrier oil does is it keeps it on your skin a little bit longer so your body can fully absorb that essential oil. It doesn't make it greasy. I never feel greasy after applying it with my fractionated coconut oil, but it just helps keep it on your skin just a little bit longer so you get a better effect. It might take a little bit longer to get the effect that you're going for, but that effect will last a little bit longer as well. So if I don't get it in the roller ball from doTERRA, I make up my own. So I'll put anywhere from 5 to 25 drops of oils. It could be a combination of one oil or several different oils into my roller ball, and then I fill it with fractionated coconut oil. I do have a little segment in my DIYs videos that show you how you can make your own roller ball. So I'm not going to go into any more detail, but it makes it really easy and convenient. I oftentimes have one in my pocket, and I have several in my purse, so when I'm on the go, I have things at my fingertips if something comes up and I need them, okay? The other way that you can use oils is internally, okay? The great thing about doTERRA is they make it really easy to know which ones are safe to take internally, because they will have, and you won't be able to see this, but I'm going to show you on your bottle. You can grab a bottle if you have it, and if it says supplemental facts, just like a box of cereal or any food products that you get at the store, it has a supplemental facts. That means you can take it internally. If it doesn't have a supplemental facts, like tea tree is not one that they typically recommend that you take internally, It won't have supplemental fats, and those are ones that I would avoid and probably wouldn't take internally, okay? So you can use oils aromatically, you can use them topically, and you can take them internally. A lot of times you can just drop them in your mouth. Sometimes they can be intense, especially some of your spices like cinnamon. You're going to feel a little bit of a burn. So different ways you can do that is you can get the little veggie caps, and they're empty capsules that you can pull apart. You can drop your oil in one half, you can put the other half back on, and you can take it internally just like a gel capsule. The other way you can do it is to add it to a beverage, or sometimes I just get like a little shot glass and I'll fill it, it's like 1 ounce with water, and I'll put my drops of oil in that, and then I just swig that down and then flush it through with some additional water. I will say when you're taking them internally and you're adding them to a drink of some sort, you do need to use a glass or a metal container, because the oils oftentimes are great detoxifiers, particularly the citrus oils, but many oils are great detoxifiers. If you're using a plastic or a styrofoam, that oil, even just 1 drop of it, is going to start detoxifying that plastic or the styrofoam. It will eat through styrofoam literally within seconds. I've tried it. And then you're just going to be ingesting those toxins. And what we're really trying to do when we're using essential oils is rid our body of toxins. We bring in toxins throughout our daily life, whether we like it or not, when we're breathing polluted air, when we're applying soaps, creams, lotions, cleaners, things like that. There's always some things that are synthetic in there that our bodies don't love. Our laundry soap, our fabric softeners, our dryer sheets, all of those have toxins in them that none of us are really aware of. And guess what? We put our clothes on, sitting right on top of our biggest organ of our bodies, which is our skin, and our skin is just absorbing those toxins. So you don't want to ingest any more toxins from styrofoam or from plastic. So just a little safety tip. I will say, along with safety, is a carrier oil is also your safety, and I always recommend you get a carrier oil. Like I said, I get fractionated coconut oil. That is one that doTERRA does sell as well, and that's why I get it, because it's really convenient for me to throw on my order and get it. And they have these little extra pumps on it, which make it really easy when I'm making my roller balls. So that is your safety. If you're having some sort of a reaction, or you put cinnamon on or peppermint on, and it's kind of giving you that burning or that tingling, diluting it down a little bit will take that negative sensation away, but still give you the positive effects of the oil. So if you happen to put an oil on and you get it in your eye, it doesn't feel very well. If you just put some fractionated coconut oil just around kind of your eye socket and you start to blink for about 20 seconds, the pain goes away in literally about 20 seconds. My son got a full drop of lavender in his eye once. He was kind of doing this little flip, trying to chase to get to the dog to put some lavender on the dog because he was really spastic, and he flipped onto this big like love sack that we have, and a full drop of lavender went into his eye. And I was fairly new into oils, and I was kind of going panicky and going, what did they tell me? What can I do? And he was screaming so loud, I thought for sure I was going to end up in the ER. But I got the fractionated coconut oil, I put it around his eye, and he literally stopped crying in about 20 seconds. If you don't have a carrier oil, you can get vegetable oil out of your kitchen cupboard, or the regular coconut oil out of your kitchen cupboard. What you don't want to do is try and flush it out with water, because water and oil don't mix, and that will just kind of penetrate it a little bit deeper. So you do want to use an oil of some sort to kind of take those negative effects that you may be feeling. Okay? So why do we use essential oils? 1, because they're safe. 2, because they're easy to get and they're affordable. When you look at price per drop, they are so much more affordable than even over-the-counter medications that you would be getting. So I like that. They're easy to get, they're affordable, they're easy to use. My kids know how to use these. I leave my oils out in the open, and they have free will to kind of go get what they need and put them on. And the other reason I love them is because they are effective, and I've given you some very personal examples of how quickly they can be effective. So that's why I choose to use them. They're super empowering to me. They're right there. And you know, one piece of advice I will say is put your oils where you're going to use them. If you're going to be ingesting some, put your shot glass and your oils that you're going to do that with right above your kitchen sink so that it's easy and convenient. Put the roller balls that you're going to put on every day. I put them by my bathroom sink because that's where I brush my teeth and I'm getting ready for the day, and it's easy to just quick roll my roller balls on my abdomen and I'm done. So when I first started using oils, I had them all in this pretty little display in one spot, and I didn't want people touching it, and now I have them everywhere. I probably have 7+ diffusers throughout my house. So they're in my bedroom, my living room, my kitchen, they're everywhere. And I put my own stash of oils with each of those diffusers because I'm more apt to start the diffuser if it's super convenient for me. It could just be laziness, but honestly, I think that's how many of us operate. And when I started putting my oils out where I actually used them, I used them more consistently. And I will tell you, that is the absolute key to essential oils, is their consistent use. So you can use them preventatively or prophylactically just to help get you and keep you in this healthy state. Or you can utilize them to help treat some chronic issues. But they're going to work better when you use them consistently. You can't put one application on and think that that disease process that you've built up to having and have and is maybe even hard to manage with traditional medical management. One dose isn't going to cure you from that disease process. You have to use them consistently, okay? An example I have of that is my mom. She has a lot of chronic lower back discomfort and leg discomfort, and it's kind of some pain and some tingling that can kind of shoot down her legs. And she had this many, many years ago, and she had to have a very expensive back surgery. And it took the pain away for many, many years, and she was able to have a very functional and productive life. And eventually that pain started creeping back. And so we started having her apply this Deep Blue Rub, which has many oils in there to kind of help decrease inflammation and decrease those discomforts. And it made a difference. It took the edge off, but it was still really painful for her. And so she said, I'm going to go back to see my neurosurgeon. And I said, that's okay, Mom. That's great. They're probably going to want you to get an MRI or a CAT scan or something like that. In the meantime, what I want you to do is I want you to add 1 to 2 drops of Copaiba, my most favorite oil, with your Deep Blue. And she uses like a pea size of Deep Blue and 2 drops of Copaiba, and she started putting that on her lower back and kind of all the way down the back of her legs to her knees. And within days, she noticed a significant difference. And by day 14, she had gone to get the MRI that the doctor wanted to just kind of evaluate what's going on, but her appointment with her doctor wasn't for another 2 weeks, and she ended up canceling that appointment. She never even went in to see what the results were for that MRI, and she never ended up needing another surgery, and that was about 4 years ago or so. And that's what she does every day, twice a day, no matter what. And in fact, she tried just kind of, I'm just going to use it more sporadically because it's well under control. And that pain and inflammation started to creep back in. So she went back to doing it twice a day, every day, no matter what. And she is able to live a fairly pain-free life. Every now and again, when she overdoes it, then that pain can kind of creep back up. I think that happens with all of us if we're doing a lot of physical activity and things like that. But that's what she does, and she uses it consistently. And those are 2 oils that she says, please don't ever let me run out of those because I need those. If I can only use 2, those are the 2 that I'm going to use. We don't limit her though, just FYI. Okay, so how do you start getting essential oils into your home? There's a few ways. There's different links on my website here that you can certainly click. You can call or text me, and I'm happy to generate a specific link after we talk about specific oils that are great for you, okay? There's several starter kits with doTERRA, and I'm going to kind of go over one, and then I have a couple additives that I absolutely would recommend adding on as a beginner kit. And I'm going to explain why I feel like this is probably my number one go-to suggestion for beginners, okay? One, I forgot to grab my bottle of fractionated coconut oil, but I absolutely would have that because, again, that is your safety, and I'm all about safety when you're using essential oils. So pretend there's a bottle of fractionated coconut oil here with the rest of our supplies. Okay, the Simple Solution Kit that you can get comes with a 4 ounces of Deep Blue Rub. And again, this is really great to help decrease inflammation and discomforts. This is great for pre and post workouts. This is good for acute and chronic discomforts that may come up. And my mom uses this twice a day, pea size, and this probably lasts her close to 2 months, ish, if I remember from her saying that last time we talked. So that's a really good option just to help decrease inflammation over specific areas. Lemon. This is an absolute gem. One, it smells really refreshing and clean. This is an oil I oftentimes will just mix in with some Castile unscented soap and some water, shake it up, and I spray it down, and that's what I use as my cleaners. I don't use traditional cleaners anymore. I either use the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate from doTERRA, or I just make up my own with different oils. So lemon is a really good detoxifier, and it's a really good mood uplifter. It helps you feel those feelings of joy and satisfaction. It works really well in the respiratory system. It kind of helps to wick fluids away. So if you have some chest congestion, if you have a cold, it helps to pull those extra fluids away. If you're having discharge from anywhere or a yeast infection, it helps to wick that extra fluid away. It is really good to help with seasonal threats. So the flowers start blooming, or the grasses are coming out, or the bushes are coming out in the spring, and everybody's eyes start to get itchy and dry and sometimes watery, right? And it's really uncomfortable. Lemon, again, really helps to kind of wick things away. So when my son has some of those reactions or has a little bit of a cold, he'll actually just put a drop on his fingers and rub it right here on his neck, and it really helps to pull those extra fluids away to dry him out. But it really helps with those seasonal threats, particularly when mixed with peppermint and with lavender, okay? The peppermint helps to open up the airway. The lavender is it has some natural antihistamine effects, so it really helps to decrease that reaction that you may be having. And this is really fantastic in water. I'm just saying, if you're not a big water drinker, you can add a drop or two of oil to it, again, in a glass or a metal container, and it's really, really refreshing. Okay, the next oil in this little starter kit is On Guard. On Guard is the immune boosting or immune supporting oil, and it's a mixture of oils. And we'll see here if I can name these off the top of my head. I don't know that I can, but what I do know that's in there is eucalyptus, wild orange, cinnamon, clove, I believe rosemary. It smells really delightful. Probably one of my most favorite scents in their blends, actually. And this is really great in a diffuser, particularly if you're really wanting to try and clean the air and help get the essential oils to your family members that maybe aren't quite as into them as you are, and they don't want to put them on topically. It's a great way to kind of help boost your entire family's immune system by dropping it into your diffuser. It's kind of a little bit like Christmas in a bottle. You know those very Christmassy scents, the cinnamon and the clove? They're not overpowering, but they're really, really delightful in my opinion. This you can put on the bottoms of your feet. The bottoms of your feet are a great place to apply oils. We have a lot of reflex points, and so just putting them on the bottoms of your feet will take those oils where they need to be in your body, and it really helps to take the antioxidants that have built up on all of our cells and flush them out. It helps to detoxify our body, and it really helps to boost up our immune system. So On Guard, one of their most, all of these oils actually that come in this kit are in their top 10 list of oils that they sell. Okay, the last one that's in this kit is Serenity, and this is the Restful blend. So those of you that may be having some difficulties getting adequate sleep at night, or maybe have some kiddos that are having a hard time sleeping, again, adding it to a diffuser and putting it in the bedroom where you're sleeping is a great idea. This is one, again, can go to the bottoms of your feet. I like it particularly on the bottom of my big toes because that's our reflex point for our brain, and it kind of helps to shut our brain down a little bit. It's great to just kind of dab a little bit right under your nose so you get that scent right, that you're inhaling and hitting that olfactory system that we talked about, and is really calming. You can kind of dab a little bit on your pillow if you don't have a diffuser, just so it's kind of right there when you're sleeping. And you can also kind of put it to behind your ears or the back of your neck. So this is definitely one you can put on topically or put in your diffuser. Okay. This one does not have a supplemental fact, so this is one that they don't recommend you take this one internally. They do have a Serenity gel cap, and it has the oils in it that they don't recommend internally. They don't put them in those gel caps, but that can be used as a sleep aid as well. Okay, so that's the basic Simple Solution starter kit. The next three things I'm going to talk about are just some of my absolute favorites that I think are super critical for everybody to have, and why I think they need to be included in your starter kit. Okay, Copaiba is my most favorite oil. It's very gentle, but it is an absolute powerhouse. Copaiba is a tree in Brazil, and trees are very grounding. They're strong, they're sturdy, and that's what it does for us. It helps us to ground our emotions, and it helps to make us sturdy. So Copaiba is great for our immune system as well. And one of the reasons it's probably great for our immune system is because it's really, really good in our GI tract. It's a very good GI tract neutralizer, and 70% of our immune system lies within our GI tract. Huge anti-inflammatory properties, and so if we can decrease that inflammation in our GI tract, even if we feel like we don't have inflammation in our GI tract, we have inflammation in our GI tract. It just typically manifests everywhere else. And that's because we have a bunch of neurotransmitters there, and it's trying to send signals to the rest of our body. And when there's inflammation, those signals can kind of get cross-wired, I guess you could say. And so they will manifest in different symptoms. And so I think that's why Copaiba personally is really good at boosting our immune system, because it really is good at neutralizing that GI tract. Because of its anti-inflammatory properties, and because this works so well within our central nervous system, it binds to some of those pain receptors, and so it really can help decrease those discomforts that you may be feeling. And it's good for every body system. Literally, when I talk to people and I do some health consults with them, every single time, Copaiba is always an oil I recommend, and it's one that I won't be without. The other day I was checking my stash just to see, where I was at with all of my favorite oils, and I was down to one bottle, and it kind of put me in a panic mode, so I had to get on and stock up. And this is one I never let go out of stock. I make my own Sani wipes, and I add Copaiba. I make my own hand sanitizer, and I use Copaiba for that. It is really and truly my go-to, and one that I recommend for absolutely everybody. Again, I don't love this scent, but it really will take on the scent that you mix with anything else. And so that's what I like about it too, is I can make it smell better if I want to, but I've learned to use oils for their uses and not just for their scent alone, okay? So this is an absolute must. If you don't add anything else onto your basic starter kit, Copaiba is it. I'm telling you, it's where everything lives here. Okay, the other two that I'm going to recommend, they're kind of one in a family. They're part of the adaptive family, and this is the emotionally balancing blend. And although many of the oils individually, like we talked about with Copaiba and even Serenity, they are very calming. This blend is specifically made to help us balance our emotions. And you guys, we get so busy in life. We're pulled in so many directions. We have to wear so many hats. Our kids face so many different things. The world is at such a fast pace that our emotions can start to get everywhere, right? And our emotions can change because we have hormone imbalances. Our emotions can change because our GI system isn't where it needs to be. Our emotions can change because we're really stressed out or overwhelmed. Our emotions can change because we have change in our life and it's hard to deal with those changes, okay? So having some tools right at your fingertips to help you manage those emotions is absolutely powerful. I love the scent of this oil, this blend, and it's probably because many of my favorite oils are in this blend. Copaiba being one of them. Magnolia being another one. Magnolia is probably my second favorite scent. Wild orange is probably my third favorite scent. Lavender is very, very calming and very, very grounding. This also has rosemary in it, and you don't smell the rosemary, which I'm super glad about because rosemary is not my favorite scent, but rosemary is super powerful for our brain. If you watch my emotionals class, I break this oil down by each of the oils and why they would have chosen these oils to go in these blend. The 15 ml is just the pure oils combined, no carrier oils in this. And I often use this in my diffuser. I will often put a drop in my hand, rub it together like we talked about earlier in class. I also will use this to refill my roller ball. So this is the roller ball that comes with it. Again, super easy application. I don't know their exact formula for the oil to the fractionated coconut oil, but when I run out of mine and I still have extra in this, I'll put about 25 drops in here and fill it with the fractionated coconut oil, and I feel like it is just as effective. This little family has one additional piece of a gel cap that goes with it, and I again talk about that in our emotionals class, so I'm not going to go in depth here, but what I will say is it's life-changing. If you know somebody that's having some emotional issues, please send them to watch my emotionals class. It's a 2-part class, but it's life-changing, and that's why I think everybody needs it. So either adding on the 15 ml to your basic starter kit and or the roller ball, I think is imperative. If we can give our family members, ourselves, our kiddos, the tools that they need to help them have that balance that we all yearn for, again, life-changing, powerful. I'm really passionate about that, and I'm really passionate about mental health. I don't think it gets enough awareness, and I think it's really hard to get effective treatments. And what I have found personally is the essential oils and the products, the supplements that I use really personally give me that emotional balance. And it was actually the emotional balancing effects that I first noted when I first started using essential oils and when my sister did, and that is what sold me that there's something to these essential oils. So that's the basic starter kit, again with the fractionated coconut oil. And you guys, this is life-changing. So how do you get them? You can buy retail from me. That's totally fine and acceptable. Or you can get your own wholesale account. It's very similar to a Costco or a Sam's Club, where you pay a one-time fee, and actually if you enroll with the Simple Solutions or any of their starter kits, the one-time fee is waived. And then you get a 25% discount on every other purchase that you make for a year. When you hit month 13, there is a renewal fee, but they send you a bottle of free peppermint, and so the renewal ends up being between $4 and $5. Totally, totally worth it. Again, just like Sam's Club or Costco. Why wouldn't you get your own account and get that discount? Okay. And if you want to even take it a little bit further, you can start to share your oils, right? You can join my team. It's a fabulous team to be on. I can work with you. I can help educate your people, and you can start sharing those, and you can kind of start getting your own little team under you, and that will kind of help supplement and help you get your oils at a much greater discounted price, and maybe even for free. Or you can build. You can do this as a business, and you can start to build a very large team. So there's a spot for every single person. I would love to have you on my team. No matter if you're just the user or the sharer or the builder, there's a spot for you on my team. And I hope that you reach out, and I hope that you let me help you get that self-empowerment that I have felt from using my essential oils and my supplements through doTERRA. Thank you so much for joining me today. There will be a link on my website with this exact starter kit that you can just click on that link. Everything is in your basket, and you can start off right there and get these in your hands in about a week. And I'm always here to support you on your journey. You can call or you can text me, and I can give you more tips and tricks to using your essential oils. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful day.